Good afternoon. I'm going to do my first YouTube video because why not? I thought I'm writing about mid-Cheshire / Wrexham as a marathon anyway, so I thought, well, I don't want to take up all that space I've got, the little space I've got, with how it went for me, but I think it is relevant. I know a few people followed my training, so why not give a bit of something back? And I spent a lot of time in the training, which I'll talk about, doing turbo training, etc., watching YouTube videos, so why don't I give a little bit of something back and see how it goes. So I ran 2:30:52, and yeah, I think amazing race. I'll talk about my training, I'll talk about how it went, I'll talk about the day itself, talk about why it went that way. So 2:30:52, I'll address a few comments straight away. Bet those 52 seconds, WhatsApp message from friends, bet those 52 seconds are hurting, Batty. I'll talk about that later. Next comment was from another friend, probably those dodgy shoes with springs in. I reckon I could do a 2:35 in those. So let's address it straight up. What did I wear for it? I wore the Nike Alphafly. So why the Alphafly? I did have a mild panic, and I bought myself a pair of Vaporfly 2s in the 3 days before the race, but I bought these. I mean, for a lot of us, there wasn't a lot to aim for last year. We had big plans for the year, and then someone ate a bat, and here we are. So we didn't get to race, and part of that and all the training for me that got me through the year was aiming at Wrexham. It was meant to be in October, it got postponed to April this year, so training through, and I realised towards the end, you know what, it'd always been about, I bought these, if they're good enough for Kipchoge, they're better shoes than I am runner. They're not the limit for me. It's not the shoes that the problem, it's me that's the problem. So, you know what, we started together, let's finish it together with the Vaporflies. What did other people wear? I mean, it was really fascinating being there. You're around like 200 people, all of whom have trained really seriously. The kind of aim for qualifying, I think, was 2:40. You had to have run or show you could run a 2:40 to enter the race. So everybody there was serious about running. That's why it was so amazing. You knew that these were your people. So what were other people wearing? I looked at the photos of my wave, so I could pick out 16 pairs of shoes other than my Alphaflies. Of those, 8 people wearing Vaporflies, another 2 wearing Vaporfly 2s. 2 of them were in Alphaflies. 2 of them were in the Adidas Pro, bold choice. I don't know if you've tried the Light Strike foam, but I think it's awful. And one of them was in the A6 Metaspeed Sky. So this is the week after, I think it was Beth Potter did a ridiculously fast 5k in them, and Sarah Hall had just done back-to-back 220s, so they're legit. You can see why, but they're hard to get hold of, so if somebody managed to get that, good for them. So yeah, I went for the Alpha over the Vapor. Was it good? Yeah, it was great. Would this have been great? Also, yes. What would I wear if I did that course again? So for those that don't know the course, it was a triangle, so basically a mile on each side. So one, it's called the straight mile. It was a mile at the straight, it's beautiful. And this shines on a straight mile. Turn left, sharp turn, not so fun. Awful in these. Uphill, downhill a bit on a road that's got a few potholes, not brilliant. These have been better. And then the last road was a kind of twisty turny one. I mean, you can pick them, they're kind of the same. And then a really sharp left onto the straight mile. So I think either was a good choice. I think others would have been a good choice too. If I was doing that course again, I'd probably go Vaporfly. I think later in the race, when you're tired, handling the corners will be better. I am doing the London Marathon in October. I'll talk about that later. And for that, I'm going to go Vaporfly 2. So yeah, I did 2:30 high. I missed 2:30. How much did those 52 seconds hurt? Yeah, they did, and I was sad to miss 2:30, but I was delighted. I had such a disrupted build-up, so I started out my training late December, maybe November. So we'd been aiming for the October race for Wrexham, and then got delayed. Everything got kind of shut down again as we ended up in a COVID situation again, and I then injured myself late December, so my mileage was naught. I could do no miles. Then I did 3 miles and I did 30 and I got a re-injury, so no good. So then I did 30 and I'm behind now, so I'm going into February, so my mileage is like, well, actually it feels alright. I haven't done a jog, 3 miles. I was doing a lot of cross training, so I bought some kettlebells, I bought a turbo trainer, but it's only going to get you so far, so I'm behind. But then I thought, well, you know what, if we're going to go for it, it's in April, we've got to go for this. So from February, 3, 30, 50, 70, 70, 70, 80, 80, 90, I hit a 100-mile week before then backing it off, ready for the race. So based upon that build-up to smash my PB that was 2:38, if you're anything but delighted, you're doing it wrong. That was an amazing performance for me. Over the moon with it. I don't think I could have got any more out of myself. I did want, and I do desperately want that sub 2:30, and I will go for that sub 2:30. But you can't be sad about a 7.5 minute PB. Like that was great. 7-minute PB. Who knows? It was just a really good performance. That I'm happy with it. I'm really pleased with what I put out. So yes, it hurt to miss 2:30, but actually I'd kind of set myself the goal originally of 2:32 to 2:36, and that's before I got injured. And then after that, I knew I was coming from behind the whole time. I was struggling against it the whole time. I'm worried that, well, I've missed so much, where can I get to? And the week before I had a 10k at Mallory Park, excellent race. And I'd said to myself, well, if I get a 34-minute 10k, you might be able to squeeze a PB, like 2:37, 2:36 upper end of my range. If I can do 33 minutes, a sub 33, so to match my Leeds 10k, turns out 9.973k because it was short, but I did 32.53. If I can match that, then maybe that 2:34 might be possible. Maybe even 2:32 like you'd originally set out for. I crushed it. I went out, I attached onto the wrong group because I'm an idiot. So I went out with a 32-minute group. I faded towards the end, but I did 32.25 or thereabouts. Okay, now what? Bit of a shock. Didn't know what to do. So, well, you know what? Just go with it. And I think that's why I'm quite pleased, is I just went with the pace I felt I could do. I was on about 2:28 pace till 32, 33k. And then it just slowly slips away, and that was a shame. But I went with what I could do. I could have run probably 2:35, done very even pace throughout, but that would have been nice, but that wouldn't have been authentic either. I kind of went with what got me here, great, so let's just keep on going with it, and I'm happy with that. So the atmosphere, amazing. What was also a big help was groups. So you got set off in waves, about 15 people per wave, 20 people per wave, set off 10 seconds apart. So you're with people that have put in the same predicted time as you. I caught the group in front. I finished second out of my wave in the end by a few seconds. So even though I was fading, I still kind of did okay out of that. I caught the group in front. I caught the group in front of that before then fading back again. But you'd got people always up the road from you, and especially later on it had strung out a little bit. So you'd got so many more people around. Even at London Marathon, you can be isolated an awful lot because not that many people are in the kind of time you're looking at. So I think it's probably better than London for running fast. Great organisation. So yeah, I absolutely think the group system worked. It was enforced by COVID, but it did do well. I'm quite a big fan of that. So how did it go? Yeah, set off, rolling along, and it just felt fine. I'm kind of under control, but I'm looking at it, I'm kind of ticking off. I'm like, okay, 5 miles, this feels fine, keep on going. 10 miles, hang on, this is 8 seconds outside my 10-mile PB, but, well, just go with it. You go through a half, I'm a few 10, 11 seconds outside my half PB, okay, keep on going. Only later on did it start to fall apart, and then if you look back, I think that's why it starts to fall apart. I looked at my stats, so Fetch Everyone, great website. If you don't use it, you probably should. Forget Strava. Strava's a toy. Fetch Everyone's where it's at, and it shows you your best stats at all different distances. So in the marathon, I did my 18th fastest 5 mile, my 10th fastest 10k, my 3rd fastest 10 mile, my 2nd fastest half, and everything beyond the half was new territory. Having had recent gains to get to this fitness level, I can understand that I've not had a lot of experience running this quick for this long, so that starts to explain why the wheels fell off a little bit. Not a total implosion, but a struggle towards the end. And that I think as well, coupled with the disrupted training, so missing January, I missed 5 weeks basically, where I was averaging maybe 20 miles a week, just trying to get my calves are made of glass, trying to get my calf right, and no wonder I missed so much. So I'm sat watching the Welsh runner on YouTube, DGR, etc., and seeing the Welsh runner's videos, just banging out his training for the same race that I want to do, really helped to be a part of that group, even though you couldn't be with other people. So that really helped. But I just didn't have the endurance when it came to the later stages of the race. So let's see if I can put it together for later in the year. So what's next? It's got to be London, hasn't it? London is there. London is going to be good. I think London's always a celebration. This year, I think after the 18 months we've all had, it's going to be amazing. So the atmosphere at Wrexham was amazing for the people that were there. You knew that every person there was your people. They were runners, whether they're doing 240 or 220, none of those are by accident. You structure your life around your running to get to that level. I know that they're doing the same things I'm doing. They're having to squeeze in runs between kids, work, shifts, whatever else they've got in their life. I've got kids, others haven't, but they don't, I don't get a head start to make up for that. I don't work shifts, for example. I have a lot of control of my own hours. Other people don't do that. It's the same for all of us. You've just got to bang it out where you can. So I'm really happy that I was around all these people that I knew were like me, and it was just a lovely atmosphere. London will be different. I think it brings in the masses, and I think it'll be fun to be running quick towards the front of the race rather than near the middle for once, so that'll be nice. Don't think London will be as fast as a course of Wrexham, but we'll give it a go. The good thing is, at London, I'm not going to get lapped. I did 2:30.50 and I still got lapped. Some people are just a lot better. So Jake Smith just looked imperious. He's just cruised by. I think I got onto the straight mile, so it's probably about sort of 800 metres from the end, I reckon. And then through he came. It's like, oh, for God's sake, I've still got to go around again. So he looked amazing, but he would. At that point, I tried to pick it up for that last lap, and knowing that if I can do a sort of 17:30 park run, you've got to stop 2:30. I was sick in my mouth, and that was the end of that, really. So I kind of did my best to not fall apart. I'd sort of, know that I'd spent the day gone away from the kids for a while, left the pregnant wife with a new baby. Well, no, pregnant. We just had a kid then, and I had to give my best, and I did. So, did it hurt missing 2:30? Yes. Am I proud of it? Yes. Was it amazing? Yes. Well done to the organisers, and I look forward to seeing the videos with the people as we all get together in London, I hope.